My brother and I always thought about the movie from the beginning as a family fight, because the Avengers have basically formed a family with one another over the years. And it's very emotional to see a family fight, and it's very intense, and it's the kind of thing you don't know if that fight can ever be repaired moving forward.
There will be consequences.
Captain?
You seem a little defensive.
Well, it's been a long day.
You're going to see a very different Captain America than you've seen before. And he started off in the first movie, in the first Avenger, as a very straightforward patriot. He just wanted to get involved in the war and stop the bad guys. That was his job. You know, as he moved forward into Winter Soldier, we put him in a position where he had to start to question authority. And he couldn't necessarily trust the chain of command any longer. And he had to be a bit of a rebel and push against it. This movie, we take him even further, and we turn him into a full-blown insurgent in this film, where he's completely outside the law. And he's finally gotten to a place in his life where, you know, all his life he's made the choice to serve others. That's been his sort of purpose, reason for being. This movie, he finally gets to a place in his life where he chooses to serve himself first. And it's just a very interesting place, surprising place to see Captain America.
Tell us a little bit more about this legendary scene where friends fight each other.
Yeah, look, Civil War, my brother and I always thought about the movie from the beginning as a family fight, because the Avengers have basically formed a family with one another over the years. And it's very emotional to see a family fight, and it's very intense, and it's the kind of thing you don't know if that fight can ever be repaired moving forward. And so there's a central scene in the movie that we always knew that would be the centerpiece of the movie, which is where they all go at each other. And it's a very exciting scene. It has a lot of emotional drive to it, but it's also very spectacular because you're seeing all these superheroes use their powers in every imaginative way they can against one another. And it's very fun. It's you know, everybody on our whole team knew this was going to be the most important scene in the movie in many ways. So we put a lot of time. Our entire stunt team, our visual effects team, our writers, our producers, everybody was always trying to pour as much creative energy as we could into that sequence.
Captain America.
Mr. Lang?
It's an honor. I'm shaking your hand too long. Wow, this is awesome. Captain America.
It must have been a lot of fun to introduce Black Panther and Spider-Man and show Ant-Man again. How did you feel about that?
Look, it was very important to us to have those characters in the movie because we were telling them, the story that we're telling between Captain America and Iron Man is in many ways a complex and dark story. They go to a very difficult place with one another in this movie. And my brother and I are big fans of balanced storytelling. You know, we like movies that make you laugh and make you cry and make you think and scare you or whatever the case may be. So we like very well-rounded movies. So the way for us to balance the movie, because we were going so dark between what happened with Cap and Iron Man, is we wanted lighter characters that didn't have as much investment in the central plot of the movie as they did. And Spider-Man was very useful to us on that level. He's a new recruit. There's a very strong and good reason for him to be there, but he doesn't have the emotional baggage that the other characters have, so he can be a little lighter. Black Panther is a different story. Black Panther was, again, a favorite character of ours and a very revered character by fans. So it was a great privilege for us to be able to use him in this film. Because the movie breaks up into two sides, Tony's side versus Cap's side, we didn't want the movie to become too simple, just one side versus the other. So we used Black Panther in the storytelling to create a third party in the fight. And Black Panther is very much tied into the central plot of the movie, but he doesn't really care about the sides. He's out for himself, and he has a very strong storyline. We're really happy with how he came out in the film.
It's really hard for you to choose, but which side would you be on? What makes more sense for you, Team Cap or Team Iron Man?
You know, I can't answer that question because from the get-go, my brother and I wanted to craft a movie where you would be torn when you got to the end of the movie, where you didn't know who to side with, Cap or Iron Man. And both were a little bit right, both were a little bit wrong. So we had to commit to that balance in the storytelling really deeply. And so we were constantly tweaking through the script phase, modulating who was right and who was wrong as we executed it in post-production. It was a very delicate balance. So you know, at the end of the day, we can't side with one or the other.